Have you ever wondered why some men cheat with mistresses? Actually, I'm sure probably every woman has asked themselves that question, especially when they have a wife at home that loves them. Are men who cheat just buttholes? Or is there a logical explanation as to why your partner might stray? And more importantly, is there anything that you can do to keep a man faithful? Some people will say you can't prevent a man from cheating, but I have a bit of a different opinion. I believe you have more power than you think. Hi, gorgeous. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mireille Nicole. I'm the creator of the Happily Ever After method, and I'm all about helping you tackle the tough stuff in love with grace and wisdom. I also post random videos about health and non-toxic living. So if you're into all that kind of stuff, I'd love for you to stick around and subscribe. Today, we're going to talk about the mistress versus the wife. I realize this is a triggering topic, but bear with me. Let's all keep an open mind here. I'm going to break down a controversial truth. It's not always about love. It's about energy, attention, and connection. That's what keeps the man. And I'll share with you 5 reasons why men cheat and what exactly attracts them to the mistress. I'll also share how you can bring that same magnetic energy into your own relationship so your partner never feels like he has to look elsewhere. Now, I want to be clear here. I'm not condoning the other women or justifying men at all in this video. This is not what this is about. But there's a lot we can learn from the mistress and the dynamic, lessons that you can actually apply to make your own relationship stronger. Think of it this way. The goal is to be the mistress in your own relationship, to keep your partner's attention, his devotion, and the spark alive so that you guys can have your happily ever after. Let me get personal for a moment. I've been the other woman. I mean, I still am. My husband and I both left our previous relationships to be together. And from my experience, I can tell you this. The novelty of the mistress eventually wears off. So if you want long-term love, you need to understand what makes the mistress captivating and how to channel that energy in your current relationship and maintain it. That's the secret. This is how you use the concept of the mistress for good. And by the way, even the mistress isn't immune to a fading connection. But before we dive deeper, I've got something for you. I created a free relationship success checklist, 25 daily actions you can choose from to be the mistress in your own relationship. Download it because it's going to make everything I teach today, and actually in all my videos, much more actionable. Okay. Let's break it down. Here are the 5 key reasons men cheat with mistresses and what you can learn from each one. Number 1, fun. Fun is magnetic, and men bond over fun. Over fun, joy, laughter, new adventures. This is actually called recreational intimacy in your relationship, and it's a critical part of having a healthy, holistic relationship. And I did a whole video on recreational intimacy based on a trip my husband and I took to Roatan, Honduras. I'll link to it up here if you want to check it out later. So ask yourself, are you having fun in your relationship? Are you truly fun to be around? According to John Gottman, the author of the book 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, and the extensive research he did on over 1,000 couples in his love labs, the first principle to a lasting marriage is rebuilding the friendship. Think about your own friendships. Like, what do you do with your friends? You guys have fun together. You guys laugh. You guys play, well, maybe not as adults, but you have fun, right? Now, in a romantic relationship, obviously, it's not just going to be fun. You need the fun, you need the intimacy, you need that connection. Otherwise, you're just friends and it becomes platonic. And that's why I'm not a huge fan of that saying or that advice that you marry your best friend. My husband is not my best friend. He's way more than that. But anyhow, remember that friendship and having fun is critical in a romantic relationship, and to keep that spark alive. You want him to have fun with you, way more fun than he could ever have with a mistress. Number 2, admiration. Mistresses know what men value and they give it freely. admiration, respect, recognition, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. And the reason this can be hard for the wife is that she experiences the day-to-day with him, right? She has the family with him, the shared responsibilities. Maybe they're not so shared and she's doing more of them. And when it feels like your husband isn't stepping up or doing his share, it can be very difficult to show admiration, respect, and recognition. There's this built-up resentment and frustration, and it can feel like he doesn't deserve it, right? And that can be a trap. If this is happening in your relationship, I definitely encourage you to address it. But for now, let me ask you this. When was the last time you really made your partner feel admired? This doesn't mean putting yourself last or accepting bad behavior or settling or just avoiding bad things that are happening, but it does mean noticing him and appreciating him genuinely for the things he does do, because there's likely something he does do. This fuels the masculine ego in a healthy way, and that helps keep that polarity in the relationship. You know that saying, you get what you put out there? Now, I'm not defending cheating. I'm simply pointing out the reality and encouraging you to take your power back. Number 3, it's not conditional. Mistresses don't withhold intimacy when he makes mistakes or doesn't step up. Again, there's a whole idea of deserving here. Let's put that aside for now. She doesn't punish him by withdrawing love. There's a channel I love listening to called Live on Purpose, and he talks about different topics, but like mostly about parenting, or there's a lot about parenting there. And one thing he says about your kids when they're behaving badly is that your job as a parent is to love them no matter what, and even if. And I love that in certain circumstances and within certain boundaries for romantic relationships too. Obviously, there are circumstances where the relationship is so toxic, you just have to get out of it and you can't ignore and say, no matter what, and even if. I'm not talking about that. And just like in the last point, you might say, well, she's not dealing with the same day-to-day life challenges, so it's easier for her to not make things conditional. After a while, I'd say if she doesn't know the secrets of the mistress herself, she might start making things conditional, and that's where I see them go wrong a lot of the time. But I say this is where the real strong and lasting relationships come in. It's those that can think long-term about their love and see the bigger picture that are the happiest and healthiest in their relationships. The mistress is in the mood, whether he did the dishes or not. Obviously, different circumstances, but just keep the essence of that in mind. She's not making those ineffective, I'd have to say, associations. I see so many women do this, and men do this too, actually, who think that withdrawing affection will motivate their partner to step up, when in fact, it's the opposite. Men and humans in general will move towards pleasure and away from pain. So if you're making things painful for him, he's going to move towards what is pleasurable, and that is just human nature in general. Don't let the mistress be the better offer, as I like to call it. And if he's not doing the dishes or stepping up, use effective communication and relational skills to turn that around. I have a whole playlist on communication. Go check it out. It's a lot easier than you think. Okay, number 4, feminine energy. This is the big one. Feminine energy is receptive, it's playful, it's magnetic, it's empathetic, it's intuitive. She prioritizes her self-care. And feminine energy is like a whole video or multiple videos in itself. So I'm going to keep it short here. So feminine energy is not controlling, it's not judgmental. And a man is drawn to feminine energy because it allows him to feel competent and desired and wanted and needed. The mistress makes him feel wanted. When I was dating my husband and our relationship hit rock bottom, the first piece of advice I got when I sought support was, what does it look like when your partner comes home from work? Are you excited to see him? And I realized I wasn't implementing a simple yet powerful and effective principle. I bet the mistress is always excited. She's ready to receive him. And obviously, like I said, when you have a family and responsibilities and work, it's going to look a bit different to you, but the essence is the same. You can still be over the moon to see your husband and in flow and ready to receive while you have a baby on your boob or you're trying to make supper at the same time. And I don't mean happy to see him because you just want him to take over or do his part. And one last thing to remember about feminine energy. Cultivating your feminine energy isn't about manipulation. It's about presence. It's about softness and confidence in who you are. And that's a lesson we can all take from the mistress. And finally, number 5, there's attraction, obviously, right? But there's mystery, there's some space, there's some spark. And a mistress creates that space for curiosity and intrigue. She doesn't over-explain and overshare or over-control. Attraction thrives when there's a little space and some mystery. And this is something every long-term relationship can benefit from. And yes, this is something you can actively cultivate in your relationship, no matter how long you've been together. For example, I don't talk to my husband the same way I talk to my girlfriends, right? There's this idea out there that your partner or husband has to be your everything. Like, no, that's why you have a circle of friends and hobbies. Let him wonder. Let him wonder what's up and what you're talking about with your girlfriends, right? Not in the sense, obviously, of withholding important information from him. Let him be curious. Let him fantasize. Okay, if you've listened this far, I appreciate you for keeping an open mind, and I hope this video even expanded your mind. If you want to bring this energy into your own relationship, don't forget to download my free relationship success checklist. Those 25 daily actions will give you practical ways to be playful, magnetic, and irresistible, just like the mistress, but in a healthy, committed way. Drop a comment below if you've noticed these patterns in your own relationship. I read every single one, and I love hearing your stories. And make sure to hit that like button if you want more real, no fluff advice about love and attraction, and sometimes some hard truth. Here's the takeaway for today, though. Men don't cheat because they hate their wives. They cheat when they feel bored. I know it's a horrible thing to say, underappreciated or disconnected. And you don't need to be anyone else. You just need to bring that energy back into your own relationship, not just for his benefit, but for your benefit too, because it was there, and that's what created the bond between you guys in the first place. Be the mistress in your own relationship and watch your love thrive. Now check this video out next.